Republican Motherhood by Kiana,
Vishal,
Cassidy, and Emmy.
Defining terms. So, Republican motherhood was defined as the theory that women are educated homemakers and mothers. This meant that women were deemed responsible for the early education of sons or boys so they could go on to become good patriots or Republicans. Federal period. The early years of the free United States, which were usually defined between 1790 and 1830. The institutional racism was where only white women, specifically rich white women, were a part of the Republican motherhood. African Americans, both slaves and free people, as well as indigenous people, were forced not to participate in this. This is an image of Miss Robert Bolton and her children, Robert and Anne, who were under her responsibility to educate, and especially her son, who was going to go on to become either a patriot or a Republican.
Historical context. During the American Revolution, whilst many men left their homes to aid the war effort, women were left behind to take total control over running their households. This saw them defining their traditional gender roles for the time, and women took over the education of their young, the running of family businesses, and even raised money for the war. During and after the war, women were eager to ensure themselves more basic rights as the new country was being formed.
This is the Copley family portrait, and it illustrates the importance of Republican motherhood. The painting was created around the same time as the American Revolution, and emphasizes the importance of Republican motherhood by illuminating the mother in rays of light and showing how her children are all gathered around her.
American Revolution impact on women. Women who had more career freedom because of the war now had to return to their previous domestic duties. Women wanted more freedom in every aspect of their lives, including more voting rights. Writers and other people crafted new expectations and responsibilities of a woman, which were then labeled as Republican motherhood. New schools were founded to teach girls and women the values that were needed to pass on to their children. Many priests promoted this ideology as to support good Christian values of women. Abigail Adams was the wife of President John Adams. She was educated by her mother and thoroughly enjoyed reading and writing. She was very opinionated in her letters to her husband, like the famous letter to John Adams. She commonly wrote about gender equality and stood up for women's rights. She became the First Lady in 1796, but did not enjoy the role as she found the role too constricting.
Change in women's roles. Women, on top of needing to complete all the domestic duties of the house, must also now attend religious events and services. They were expected to be model women that maintained good behavior. These are very high standards for a woman, and most were unable to complete all these tasks and have time to educate their children on patriotism. More educational options began to slowly crop up, such as colleges specifically for women or girls. This is the letter from Abigail Adams to John Adams. This stated that women should have more rights according to Abigail Adams, and pressed that in this new country that women and girls should have voting rights and other rights that men had.
Shaping of American culture. Republican motherhood led to a rise in education among women, which in turn caused them to get more involved politically and socially. It also led to a rise in voting campaigns during the 19th century for women's voting rights. The first government recognized school for higher education among women was also created in 1787, which was the Young Ladies Academy of Philadelphia, and this was a result of Republican motherhood. And later on, highly educated women would become powerful figureheads and organizers during the abolitionist movement during the 1830s and 40s.
Thanks for watching our presentation.